They say love is blind, and for 10 years I was the blindest man alive. My wife, Sarah, was my entire world. We met in college, 2 kids with big dreams and even bigger hearts. I thought we had it all: a beautiful home, 2 amazing children, and a love that could weather any storm. Or so I thought. The first crack appeared subtly. It was a late-night text, a hushed phone call she'd taken in another room. When I asked, she'd just smile and say it was work, or a friend needing advice. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? She was Sarah, my Sarah. But the late nights became more frequent, the excuses more elaborate. There were work dinners on weekends and girls' trips that none of our mutual friends knew about. A cold knot of dread started to form in my stomach, a feeling I tried to ignore, to push down, but it wouldn't go away. The day my world shattered wasn't dramatic. There was no screaming match, no slamming doors. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon. I came home early from work to surprise her, flowers in hand. As I walked in, I heard laughter from the upstairs bedroom. Not just her laugh, but a man's laugh. A deep, unfamiliar laugh that echoed in our home, a place that was supposed to be our sanctuary. My heart hammered against my ribs and my hands trembled so badly I dropped the flowers. I crept up the stairs, each step a lifetime, and there they were. The images burned into my memory, a permanent scar on my soul. My wife, with another man, in our bed. I didn't storm in. I didn't shout. I just backed away, silent as a ghost, and walked out of the house. I drove for hours with no destination, the world a blurry mess through my tears. The love I thought was my foundation had crumbled into dust. That night, something inside me shifted. The overwhelming grief turned into a cold, hard resolve. I wasn't going to be the weeping, broken husband. I wasn't going to let her see how completely she had destroyed me. Instead, I decided on a different path. Silent revenge. It's not the kind you see in movies with dramatic confrontations. Mine would be quiet, methodical, and completely legal. I spent the next few days in a fog, but with a new purpose. I went to see a lawyer, the best one I could find. I laid out everything, every detail, every suspicion. My mind, which had been clouded with love, was now crystal clear, focused on one thing: securing my future and my children's future. I started documenting everything. I saved the suspicious texts I'd found on our shared tablet. I noted down the dates and times of her work dinners. I was building a case, brick by silent brick. Back at home, I was the perfect husband. I made her coffee in the morning. I asked about her day. I played the part of the oblivious, loving spouse so well that even I sometimes forgot the fury simmering beneath the surface. She seemed relieved, thinking she'd gotten away with it. Her guard was down, and she became careless. She'd leave her phone unlocked, humming a happy tune after a late-night call. Each time, it was like a knife twisting in my gut, but I channeled that pain. I gathered evidence of their affair, not for a messy court battle, but for leverage. I opened a new bank account and started quietly moving my personal savings. I researched our joint assets, understanding exactly what was mine, what was hers, and what was shared. I was preparing for a war she didn't even know was coming. The hardest part was seeing my kids. I had to put on a happy face for them, to shield them from the storm that was brewing. They were my reason, my motivation to be smart and strategic, not emotional and reckless. While she was busy with her new life, I was busy building my own escape route. I found a new apartment, a place for me and the kids to start over. I spoke with my boss and arranged to work from home for a few weeks to help with the transition. Every step was planned with precision. The days turned into weeks, and my evidence folder grew thicker. I had dates, times, even receipts from hotels I found in her car's glove compartment. The sheer audacity was staggering. She was living a double life, funded by our joint account, while I was meticulously untangling our finances. The contrast was stark. She was indulging in reckless passion, and I was channeling my heartbreak into cold, hard logic. It was an odd sort of empowerment. The man who had been blinded by love was now seeing everything with painful clarity. I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was taking back control. The day I chose to act was our 11th wedding anniversary. Seemed fitting. She woke up expecting a celebration. Maybe a fancy dinner or a weekend getaway. I woke up with a plan. I had already moved my most important belongings to the new apartment the day before, while she was out on another one of her errands. That morning, I served her breakfast in bed, just like I used to. She smiled, completely unaware. She said she had a surprise for me later. I bet she did. After she left for what she claimed was a spa appointment, a gift to herself for our anniversary, I put the final phase of my plan into motion. The movers arrived, and we quietly and efficiently emptied the house of everything that was rightfully mine, and everything the children would need. The kids were with my parents, safe from the fallout. I left her wedding ring on her pillow, right where I'd found her with him. Next, I went to the bank. With the power of attorney I'd had her sign years ago for a business venture, something she'd forgotten all about in my lawyer's guidance, I executed the financial separation we had planned. I withdrew exactly half of our joint savings, not a penny more. I closed the credit cards she'd been using for her romantic getaways. I left enough in the account for her to live on for a month or two, but the life of luxury she'd been enjoying was officially over. It wasn't about leaving her with nothing. It was about taking back what she had risked, what I had worked so hard for. It was about fairness. The final step was an email. Not a long, angry letter, but a short, concise message. It had 2 attachments. The first was a PDF of all the evidence I had collected: the texts, the hotel bills, the photos. The second was a copy of the divorce papers already filed. The email simply said, "I know everything. The papers have been filed. My lawyer will be in touch." I can only imagine the moment she came home to a half-empty house. The moment she checked her bank account. The moment she opened that email. My revenge wasn't loud or explosive. It was the deafening silence of a life she had taken for granted, now gone. It was the cold, hard proof of her betrayal laid bare, with no room for lies or excuses. She tried to call me dozens of times. Texts flooded my phone, swinging from furious accusations to desperate apologies. I didn't answer. There was nothing left to say. My silence was my final word. The divorce was surprisingly quick. With the mountain of evidence I had, she had no choice but to agree to my terms. I got full custody of the children and the house. It was a clean break, just as I had planned. Starting over hasn't been easy. There are days when the phantom pain of betrayal still aches. But when I look at my children, laughing and playing in our new home, I know I did the right thing. I chose a quiet strength over a loud rage, protected my kids and secured our future. I learned that trust, once shattered, can't be pieced back together. But you can build something new from the wreckage, something stronger. My revenge wasn't about destroying her, it was about rebuilding myself. And in the quiet aftermath, I found something I thought I had lost forever: my own strength and a peaceful new beginning. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever felt broken by betrayal, know that you have the power to write your own next chapter. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.